Hello Earthling peeps out there, I have another video. This one is called Soulmates, a huge interest area for many. Before I get into that, let me tell you that right now I have my newest book, Misfit, out on Amazon. As far as I know, it's not up on Books A Million yet, so if you are somebody, say, has an account with Amazon but not Books A Million, with Books A Million but not Amazon, sorry to disappoint you, as for now it's not on Books A Million online. Now I know my other books are, but that one, maybe because it's so new, it's not out yet on Books A Million. Anyhow, I do want to let you know up front, if you are somebody who is triggered by mental, physical, and emotional abuse, you might want to, and I'm not trying to put off any sales, but you might want to think twice about reading this book or bypass any chapters. I do have the chapters listed this time with the page numbers. Yay! I should have done that in my other books, I know. But any chapter that gets into that, if you feel it's going to be triggering, or, you know, I don't want to put off a sale, but my biggest thing is I wouldn't want anybody to become triggered by some of the stuff that I get into detail about. I have suffered all types of abuse, not from my parents so much as, I don't want anybody to think it's anything to do with my parents. My parents, are beautiful people. They weren't perfect. No parents are, but it's not about any abuse sustained from them. It was other people that had come into my life, and beings that I get into in my book. Also, the other thing is that the book also goes into not real explicit, but a crime that happened to me at 17, and that can be triggering too. So just a heads up, if you are interested in reading my book, I really talk about things that were not comfortable for me to write about, and I had debated years about whether or not I wanted to even write about my own life, because I had worries that what if people are going to think, I'm doing this because I have some kind of ego or something, or they think I'm doing it because, oh, look at me, I need sympathy kind of stuff. It's none of that. My personal reason for this is because I feel like too many times, especially if you're somebody who's been dealing with paranormal and ET experiences, you're supposed to be silent. You're not supposed to talk about it. Or even if you're a victim of horrible crime like I went through, the reason I wrote that book too, put that part in there, not the whole reason I wrote the book, but the whole reason I put that in there is because I want to get it out. Because why shouldn't I? It was something that wasn't my fault, and I don't want to think that the perpetrators involved win by me staying silent. So that's in there too. So I just wanted to let you know that in advance about the book. So I'm pretty happy with how it came out. And like I said, I've probably been debating writing this book for probably, 30, 40 years. Something like that. 30. How old am I here? A long time. I had been thinking on and off, did I really want to go through that? Because some parts made me cry, because when I had emotional breakdowns at points writing, it was very triggering for me. But at the end of the day, I got that out of me and felt so much better. So, but I wanted to put it out there to let others know that they don't need to be silent, So hopefully my book can help others in some way. That's my hope. Not because I think I'm all this and that. I know I'm not rich, I'm not famous, you know. That's why the title of the book is called Misfit, a life review of an unknown woman. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you, and it's out available on Amazon right now. Okay, now to the topic about soulmates. Soulmates, a lot of people assume means your romantic partner, your other half who you just can't be without, okay? However, what I had channeled was that soulmates can be, there. You have different types of soulmates, you know, for different types of situations. You have sister soulmates, brother soulmates, you know, just all different types of relationships out there. They don't necessarily have to be romantic soulmates. There are your romantic soulmate, you know, you can have a romantic soulmate, you know, or, you know, maybe you, in this life, you don't have your romantic soulmate and you don't want that. You know, that's perfectly understandable, perfectly fine, right? But for those who do, I thought I'd also shed some light from what I was channeling. I don't claim to be an expert, but I was told that sometimes what we might think is our romantic soulmate, the person we marry in that, can actually be a contract marriage, and our soulmate can be on the other side. It can be a contract that was agreed upon by you and your other half. And everybody made an agreement, including your soulmates, because you might have your soulmate on the other side, as well as your partner that you married might be, their soulmate might be on the other side. You know, it's interesting how that works, right? Or they don't necessarily have to be on the other side, but maybe for whatever reason, depending on the contract in that, maybe they were meant to come here, but they weren't meant to meet up with you in this life for whatever reason. That doesn't mean that you're going to just stay separated for forever and that. If you're soulmates in that, then, you know, this is what I was told anyways. You'll understand it all after your passing. So I find that very interesting. I can say, at least from my intuitive feelings in that, is that I feel like Aurora, I don't want to butcher her name. Sorry, Aurora Belcia. I hope I said that right, Aurora. Is my sister soulmate. You know, we just have this really deep connection. We'll have the same kind of thoughts and saying the same kind of things before the other person says it, and I truly believe she's my sister soulmate, right? So for whatever reason, we needed to come here in this lifetime, and we both had experiences to come through, and we came together as wonderful friends in this life. So I just find it really interesting that people assume that whoever, and please don't take this the wrong way, but whoever they marry is automatically their soulmate. And yeah, there are people who are going to go into this life together with their soulmate, but it doesn't always necessarily mean that you are in a marriage with your soulmate, okay? And your soulmate can be somebody who you, this is the part where it's going to get kind of wild, right? From what I have gathered, and again, I'm not claiming to be an expert, okay? But we don't always incarnate as humans, okay? So we have probably had lifetimes where we were, say, a Pleiadian or an Arcturian or a praying mantis, you know, with different types of contracts or ways that we could assist the humans. And the same thing, so you might have your soulmate on the other side, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because before anybody flips out or freaks out, I have had people come to me and say, you know, my soulmate, I'm not going to name names, but a particular person came to me and they said, my soulmate is actually a praying mantis. And they told me their name and said this, they're always around me, blah, blah, blah. I feel them guiding me and that. And, you know, people might think that's totally crazy. And to each his own. If I happen to think that there's some truth to that, you know. Why would you always have to incarnate as a human? You know, ETs, they have their own lessons and understanding just like we do, not in the intense way that we do. That's why they're so fascinated with us, because we have agreed to come here being totally vulnerable, our minds wiped from the knowledge, say, that like an ET would have. A lot of ETs. Now, that doesn't mean that all ETs are all highly advanced, because then you have other ETs who might not be as advanced as humans either. So there's that. So anyways, but I found that very interesting that, yeah, we have more than just our romantic soulmates. And it can be possible that our soulmate on the other side, if or around us, or other dimension, I don't want to say necessarily other side, but in another dimension, might be trying to guide us, and they might not be in a human form. Okay, now if you want to picture them in human form, if that makes you feel most comfortable, well, that's certainly not a problem, you know, and they would appear to you in a human form. You know, because some people might not be comfortable with anything that doesn't look like themselves, you know, doesn't resemble themselves. But anyways, that's my message today, and I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful day, night, wherever you are around the world. And you know, there's so much tension going on right now. Please try. I know it's hard. I can tell you, I'm one of them. It's very easy to feed into the anger and that, but you can't have hate. It's okay to be angry, but don't have hate, because when you have hate, you are sending that message out there, and love and hate can't exist in the same spot, in the same place. So if you say, well, I love this and I love that and I'm empathetic, but then I hate this person or I hate that person, you're not going to you're going to stunt your soul growth, because in order for our souls to evolve, we have to love everybody. And that's not by any means easy. So I always try to say, even though it's kind of hard for me to understand myself with some of the horrible things people do in that, I refuse, absolutely refuse to say, I hate this person or I hate that person. Because why? I don't want to bring their hateful energy. If they have hate in their hearts, I don't want to be carrying that energy, right? So I just wanted to leave that out there for you guys today. Anyhow, I'll do a little light language, because I've been asked by some of my friends, can you please keep going with your singing light language, because they enjoy it. So if you enjoy it, great. And if you don't, well, this is the end of my video, and you can stop it at any time. I'm not going to be hurt whatsoever. So here is a little light language. All right, bye guys, take care, love you, bye.